Hi, it's Dawn. Welcome back. Today I'm working in this little 5 and Below cheapy little watercolor book. The paper is super smooth, which I really enjoy working on, even though I know it's cellulose. But I just do you know, practice things in here, circles and some stencils and some freehand stuff. But I took a stencil today, this guy right here, and it's kind of hard to see on the white paper, so I'll pick it up a little bit. So I've just got that on there. And then yesterday I did a piece with greens and a little bit of violets and orchid colors, and I really liked it. It was kind of, I called it succulents, and it's in my playlist. But anyway, I thought I would, this is kind of viney, and yeah, so I thought I'd play a bit more of that color combo because I really enjoyed that yesterday, the outcome. And I've got a number 5 round here. This is from Hobby Masters. This is the old one, the Fine Touch. They call it Master's Touch now. But I also have this little shader. I used this guy yesterday for the first time ever. It's a number 2. It's basically a flat, but it's super small, short bristles. And I don't know if I'm going to use this again today or not, but we're just going to play around because this pattern is pretty tiny, pretty tight. So I've sprayed down. These greens are mostly Schmincke Forest, the super granulating. And then this plate of purples is mostly Daniel Smith, a range of things from dioxazine purple to Quin Violet and some others in here. I didn't mark them. I just put them on a plate. I was messing around one day. Anyway, enough talking, more painting. And I did find yesterday that when I was, you know, of course, using just the regular green, I was enjoying that. But then when I would double load my brush, or when things would touch, the green and the purple, I really enjoyed the outcome of that. So I may play around a bit with that today and see. As you can see, I don't erase my lines. I don't even really try to erase them that much or dull them, or, you know, some people like to get out their kneaded eraser and dodge those lines back a bit. But I find that I just don't see them all that much when it's all said and done, so I just kind of leave it. So I'm gonna grab some of these violet colors and these orchid colors, so you can see some of my mixtures here from yesterday, and then just kind of add them. Yeah, this number 5 round is a nice size, and because of the tip, you can really get into the leaves of it, you know, the little tiny spots. And of course, this paper is super thirsty because it's not terribly good paper, but this is just play, so we don't care. But I find that this color combo makes me think of succulents. When you take the green and the orchid and you put them together, I really like how that shows up, especially some of the blue greens. Like this one over here is particularly more of a blue cast to it. I'm sure I could tell you the exact name of it, but if you look up Schmincke Forest super granulating, you'll see them. I should be more proactive about labeling my palettes, but I'm just playing. And these lines are a guideline, they're not a rule. So if I find myself going, you know, in fact, what I did on some of these is I would go, there was like some big gaps, and I would just pull this stencil back on top and just kind of fill in the gaps. This stencil I got from Joggles, but I don't remember the name of it. I apologize. I think Vicky's, I think it's one of Vicky's stencils. I can't think of her last name. It starts with a P. She's from Greece, I think. Anyway, they didn't pay me to say that. People will ask where I get the stencil, and I try to tell people where I get stuff so that if they feel inspired, I don't try to influence anybody to buy anything. I'm trying to be the year of use my stuff use my stash, so I'm not trying to influence anybody. In fact, de-influencing is kind of what I'm thinking of this year. But these leaves made me think of succulents a little bit, or just spring flowers, you know. It's April here, and when I'm recording this, sorry, it's April everywhere when I'm recording this. That was a silly thing to say. At the time of my recording, at the sound of the beep, the time will be, show your age in 3, 2, 1. All right. Yeah, we're just going to play around with some granulating greens and a little bit of purple here and there. And like I said, the pencils are a guide. See, like right here, I'm missing a pencil line. Don't care. I can fake it. Or get creative and make a whole new shape that wasn't even there to begin with. It's just good practice, right? Nice thing about a brush like number 5, it doesn't hold a lot. So as I pick up a pigment and I pick up another pigment, it really does give me the luxury of using that pigment up before. I mean, you get it. You don't end up with a lot of pigment left over. That's what I'm trying to say. You use it by the time you're done with that piece like this right here. I've got some purple. I'll pick up a little green, so I don't have to clean it. I don't want to clean it because I want to harmonize the colors. But if I did want to change colors and go dramatically purple or dramatically green, it's not going to have a whole lot in it. Wow, I love that. What color did I grab? It was this one. I should pull the box out. Okay, I'm going to pull the box out. All right, pull the box out. So these are the forest colors. And this is forest olive, forest green, forest blue. Yeah, duh. And then this is forest brown and forest gray. But I think this is not... I don't think that's what that is. I think that... okay, well, anyway, I think I'm ending up using forest... Let me see if this looks like forest brown. That's the color I like. That's that color right there with the green and the brown. Yeah, that might be it. Forest brown. What's the pigment on that? 3 pigments. Jeez. PG26, PBR7, and PY43. Okay, well, now we know. Carry on. I really like that color though. I like it a lot. I'll do a better job next time when I reload the palette and making sure, because some of these I left empty as mixing wells, and I don't know if that's a mixer well. It's got an awful lot of pigment in it though to be a mixer well, so I don't think so. But never say never. Or it could be that one. I think it's forest brown, even though it doesn't look all that brown. That's the point, right? It's supposed to be like a greeny brown, forest brown. And my goal is not to be precious with this. My goal is to just have fun with colors. I do find starting with the stem, though, is helpful, because then you can start with that tip. Because I find as I go, I put a little more pressure on it, and that ends up spreading the bristles. I didn't finish my sentence, did I? Alright, well, this is more succulents, it feels like, doesn't it? Either that or you just got to be mindful to lift the brush up and not push so hard on it, because that tends to be my problem. among others. I'm heavy-handed, I'm fast, I go too fast, I have to remind myself to slow down. That's why I do these exercises largely, is to remind myself to slow down. This is olive. But honestly, there's a lot of, I don't know, I won't use the word contamination, but I just kind of, I don't clean my brushes in between, so they're not exactly perfectly pure. See, this is like the mass tone. It is super heavy, and I'm not a big fan of that. I like the more, I'll grab a little water, see if I can encourage that to move about a bit. I'm going to pick some up and move it down here. See, I like that so much better. Because it can't granulate as well when you've got all of that pigment sitting there in the mass tone. I'll grab some of that and put down here. I tend to like the orchids better than the violets. It's just a personal preference, but the orchids, oh, all right, I'll pull out those colors too. I've got a chart. But they, they read orchid. Don't care who you are. Okay, so I think one of these is probably that one is Quin Violet, if I had to guess. And then maybe Rose of Ultramarine over here. And then maybe a Red Violet over here. Well, it could be Rose of Ultramarine too, I don't know. But I think that might be Red Violet. That's by Mission. And then the Quin Violet, that's by Daniel Smith. But anyway, that's kind of where we are. I'm liking, technically the terms are violet, but they feel more orchid. I'm going to move this down a little bit closer, the camera, because you're not going to be able to see much as I would like. There we go. That's a little better. Some water over here so I can reach it a little better. That's very blue. Heavy-handed there. Yeah, I like it where the green bleeds into the orchids, the violets, whatever. The Quin Violets. Excuse me. I like that look a lot. especially in these granulating greens, it feels like when you add another color, it just makes a really neat transition. Like that one I just did, I really like that transition a lot. I'm going to practice that the next couple of stems I do. I'm going to grab the green. Oops, well, I didn't do that very well, did I? Okay, well, let's practice that again. Yeah, not great. Okay, well, practice, practice, practice. Trying to get them to kind of bleed into each other, but my water control is hindering my progress here. Ooh. Ooh, sloppy, 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 messy, messy, messy. Ooh, it's super dark. So is that. Excuse me. The stencil wasn't wide enough to go all the way across my sheet, so I did the width of it and then, of course, laid it on the piece to the side, you know, on this right hand side right up here. So some of these pieces are real close together because you just kind of have to, you know, make do in that moment. Phew, some of these don't seem very dark at all, and then I pick them up and oof. They are very dark, very pigmented, so we just go with it. That's a lot of green. Well, I don't even see how that dries down. That's a whole lot of green and a whole lot of Quin Violet. It's creating a really bright mixture there, but it's just a little trial and error along a lot of these. Ooh, that's dark. This pattern's pretty good, but it's a little spaced out. I mean, a little spread apart for me. I think I enjoy the ones that are a bit closer together, but hey, you don't know what you don't know, right? I keep trying to find that sweet spot of the greens. This one right here is my favorite one, and I keep trying to, reproduce that as I do these patterns. This one's getting pretty close. It's the right balance, the right chemistry of water to paint. I feel like that's too much water. And that's too much paint. But are we having fun? Well, we're trying. Yes, yes we are. This is that more blue one, which I think looks better when you're trying to do succulents. This blue, it's called forest blue, I think, in the forest line with Schmincke, but I think it really, with these orchid quin violet colors, I think they really kind of play well together. Yeah, definitely. That's the olive and the blue. I like that too. That's a nice combo. Try that again. Start with olive. Then go grab a little of the blue. Then continue with the blue and then grab a little quin violet. Yeah, I don't know. This blue is just not mixing with the olive very well, is it? Just kind of sitting there on top. Alright, well, let's try it again. Pick up a little olive. Okay, how about a little more olive than that? Then grab a little blue. Oop, that's a lot of blue. Okay. Pick some of that back up. That's too much blue. And then grab a little violet. Quin violet, I should say. Okay, well, it's a work in progress. Blue at the bottom of this. That blue just doesn't want to spread very much. It just wants to sit wherever you put it. Alright, fine. Too much water. It's screaming for something right there, isn't it? All right. Let's just make one, right? Make like a big comma. Sure. You don't really need stencils. You could just make a bunch of commas and, I don't know, ovals with stems attached to them all over the page. Get the same effect. Just the stencils there to be a crutch or to give you ideas. I guess crutch is not a nice word, but it helps you when you're stuck and you don't know what else to do. If you can't come up with your own ideas, or you just don't and then it's a reference. That's kind of why I keep this book, because I keep it as a, you know, kind of a play around with stuff to see what I can do with it, but then also have it as a reference to flip back to. I do doodles the same way. I have a doodle book, sketchbook I should say, that I put just sit and doodle in it, and then come up with patterns, and then when I need a pattern I just flip through my book and look at what I've done in the past, and it gives me ideas. This is more of a blue. This is more of a true violet. Very blue purple. I have to say I'm a pretty big fan of these Schmincke Forest series. It's a wonderful green palette full of lots of variety of colors in the green in the green spectrum, of course. I think it's wonderful. But then again, I'm biased because I really like greens. Especially like the olives. Olives are some of my favorites. It's kind of messy. Oof. There's that blue again. I like it. I think that one I just picked up was the forest gray. I have it, and it's over here too. I haven't used that very much in this piece so far. Oh goodness. That is really pretty. Oh boy, this is fun. I love this color combo. Of course, anything with green is going to make me happy in general. Okay, let's back this up and see what we've got. Some of my favorite spots are this one right here, where it's got almost like it's an outline. And that it's here too. You can see it a little bit there too, where when it dried down, it kind of gives you that little bit of an outline. That's weird, but that's okay. That was my fault. That's also weird. Again, my fault. See, there's that outline again. It's like the green pushes the Quin Violet to the edges. See, look at that little edge there too. Really kind of cool. That's strange, but it's okay. That's also strange, but yeah, whatever. It's all experimentation, right? And learning and trying, and looks like a field of flowers. Anyway, that's it for this time. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you again soon. Bye.